Pasamos a continuación al tema sexto del orden del día, atendiendo una solicitud de la Misión Permanente de Jamaica, que se refiere a la designación formal de la Galería de la Cultura Marcus Garvey, acordada por este Consejo de conformidad con la Resolución 940, aprobada el 29 de agosto del año 2008, mediante la cual se decidió asignar nombres a los salones de reuniones en honor de distinguidas personalidades que han contribuido a la promoción de las causas hemisféricas. Así, la resolución mencionada designa con el nombre de Marcus Garvey la Galería Interior, ubicada entre el Patio Azteca y el Salón Libertador Simón Bolívar, en la planta baja de este edificio principal de la OEA, en homenaje al distinguido político y héroe caribeño y en reconocimiento, y para ello cito, a la vida, la obra y el legado del excelentísimo señor Marcus Mosiah Garvey, el primer héroe nacional de Jamaica, político, sindicalista, periodista, editor, dramaturgo, poeta, filósofo, empresario y padre del nacionalismo negro, quien inspiró a los pueblos del mundo con su profundo mensaje de libertad, autodeterminación y orgullo racial, y su inquebrantable compromiso con la justicia social, la igualdad y los derechos humanos. Es por la vida y la obra del señor Garvey que me siento muy honrado de saludar esta mañana, ya este mediodía, y ofrecerle una cordial bienvenida a esta Casa de las Américas al doctor Julius Garvey, hijo de nuestro ilustre homenajeado. Al ofrecer la palabra al embajador Anthony Johnson, representante permanente de Jamaica, deseo expresarle, en nombre del Consejo Permanente y del mío propio, nuestras felicitaciones con ocasión de la celebración de su National Heritage Week. Embajador Johnson, tiene usted la palabra.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And as protocol and goodwill would suggest, I will have to start with a warm welcome to our new brother, Ambassador Hugo Saguier. I happen to have the non-distinction of being one of the few persons who have not worked with him before, and that is due to my relative innocence in these matters. But I would imagine, from all that has been said, that we will gain much from his great knowledge and his great experience. So welcome, Senor Saguier. Mr. Chairman, I first of all wish to thank the working group on the naming of meeting rooms, and in particular its chairman, Mr. Douglas Fraser, former representative of Canada, who labored hard to bring this honor to the Caribbean by Resolution 940 on August 29, 2008. I wish also to thank Secretary General Miguel Insulza, to thank the Chief of Protocol, Ms. Anna O'Brien, the librarian and of the Columbus Library, and also the Deputy Secretary General, Albert Ramdin, for all they have done to ensure that we have been able to reach the point of having the plaque raised. And finally, I must thank the persons who paid for it, which is Mr. and Mrs. Maurice Facey of Pan Jamaican Trust, a well-known firm that has an interest in such matters. But the honor is not only to Jamaica or to the Caribbean, Mr. Chair, but to all former colonial peoples, because Marcus Mosiah Garvey of Jamaica, 1887 to 1940, spoke to an international community. He fought for the rights and freedom of all mankind. But in the 20th century, it was the people of Africa and Asia who needed a champion, and that champion was him. This organization and this chamber will forever remember the 19th century struggle of Simón Bolívar, San Martín, Andrés Bello, Father Hidalgo, and others in that grand band of martyrs who raised the flag of freedom for mankind in the Americas. The bust of Marcus Garvey has already joined them in the upper antechamber, Now he will join the select band who also have a chamber named for him. Mr. Chairman, it is my honor to have as my special guest this morning, 2 days after our National Heroes Day, his son, distinguished surgeon Dr. Julius Garvey, second son of the great man. Marcus Garvey led a career which started from the small town of St. Anne's Bay on Jamaica's north coast, where he received his only formal education at primary school. Working in a printry, he developed a love for books and discovered that while black people seemed always to be oppressed, in fact, they had a glorious history. Mr. Chairman, at a time when there were only 2 independent African states with black leadership, Marcus Garvey proclaimed that Africa was the source of all civilization, and that it was Africa which had inspired the world to its subsequent greatness. Today, with the findings in East Africa that all members of the species Homo sapiens are descended from a single Ethiopian woman, the science has fully vindicated Marcus Garvey. Where he got the tremendous amount of knowledge and the powerful proofs which he used in the 1920s and 30s, we do not know. But certainly, he was spot on. But Garvey did not live to learn of the scientific justification. On August 1, 1914, he founded the Universal Negro Improvement Association, UNIA, in Kingston, and proclaimed his intention to work for the renaissance of African culture and the freedom of black people everywhere. We today have seen Africa free of all colonial rule, with 54 independent states, and have seen sons and daughters of Africa in legislatures across the globe. We have even witnessed such a son become the president of the most powerful country in the world. The 14 member states of the Caribbean community are greatly indebted to this great man, who did not preach racism. Rather, he preached one God, one aim, one destiny for all mankind. And so we find that his newspaper, The Negro World, published in New York and Kingston continuously from 1918 to 1933, and his host of pamphlets and magazines until his death in 1940, reached and encouraged Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam, Mahatma Gandhi and Pandit Nehru in India, Kwame Nkrumah in the Gold Coast, and Nnamdi Azikiwe in Nigeria, to name a few. The printed word was not his only weapon. He used choral music, massed choirs of hundreds in Harlem, New York, Limon, Costa Rica, Kingston, Jamaica, and wherever he lived, signaling and using not only his compositions, but the works of the classical masters. He taught that a people without a culture would be forever lost, and so encouraged the creativity of the human mind, continuous education, exhibitions of arts and crafts, highlighting not only European man, but all the races on earth. Marcus Garvey, therefore, used culture as a powerful tool to galvanize the poor and downtrodden into a mood of hopefulness and positive behavior. The grand marches through Harlem, Limon, Kingston, Havana, the display of paintings, sculptures, and creative imagination were in his arsenal of tools to build self-esteem, and use that self-esteem to promote commercial and industrial success. And Mr. Chairman, he did it at a time when the Ku Klux Klan was at the height of its power. Up, you mighty race, he called, you can accomplish what you will. For these reasons, therefore, Mr. Chair, I am pleased to inform you that through the agency of Pan-Jamaican Trust and Mr. and Mrs. Maurice Facey, the mural plaque is ready to be unveiled and dedicated this afternoon within these hallowed halls, and I invite my fellow prominent representatives to join his son, the renowned surgeon Dr. Garvey, in the unveiling of the bronze instrument which will forever proclaim his vision, his struggle, and his faith. One God, one faith, one destiny.
Gracias, embajador.